All right, update is here. It is November 5th, and they've updated a whole bunch of things. In particular, it is the Prismatic Driver was the first thing I tried. It's really good. Really good now. If you're not familiar with what the Prismatic Driver is, you fire a superheated beam which deals 870 mod damage per second. Sustaining the beam on the target will cause an explosion which will deal a bunch of mod damage in a 3-meter AoE. 45 mod power cost per pulse. I threw failsafe in there. It's really good, dude. It's way good. If you didn't use it before, which I wouldn't really blame you because it was really lackluster. It just wasn't great. It just was not great, right? The laser damage was non-existent. The explosive damage was mid, and it took so long to go off. It just wasn't really great. I used it a few times. It was okay, kind of fun. Oftentimes I would have to run some amount of like stasis or slow to make sure I could actually like get people with it. But as you can see here, like most of the time we don't even have to like freeze anybody, you know, we just blow them up like that, right? Like it just happened. We don't even need the explosion for most of the little guys. For this dude, we'll actually use it, but like it's brutal, dude. It is absolutely brutal. We'll skip doing buffs and stuff so you can get clean. I mean, it's boss rush, right? The guys are scaled in different ways, so like, you know, it's not a pure representation of just running into an apocalypse run, but dude, I was messing with it on stream and I couldn't believe how much damage it was doing. I did not believe it. I just like threw it on there, didn't even like try to do anything fancy, and I mean, it was absolutely tearing it up. So yeah, let's get at it, man. I am using, there's like this setup in particular, right? So one of the bad things with the thing is the explosion. If enemies are in your face, you can knock yourself around with it. It'll like knock you completely flat. So part of like how I decided to deal with that, because that is really obnoxious to deal with, is to go with a bit of some stagger resistance. So I've got the feeding tube on, and it's constantly feeding me the confidence booster, which is going to allow me to have one level less of stagger resistance. And then on top of that, I can use Stone Skin, which will give me another layer of stagger resistance plus damage reduction. And then, yeah, hopefully from there, I'm not getting knocked down completely. It still staggers you, actually, but you're not getting knocked on the ground, which is a big difference, because being knocked on the ground on Apocalypse is oftentimes your death. So you really do not want that, right? So I'm trying not to have that happen. And really, even though this thing can eat through some charges, we have a good amount of mod power and mod power generation, where generally speaking, it's not a problem. There's a couple ways you can try and like mitigate that and help like build it up, depending on like what you have going on. Like if you have a legendary perk that's going to give you that like huge amount of mod power generation, like I don't think you'll have any issues ever like maintaining the beam and like having it charge back up. But even just a couple seconds of stopping from shooting the laser will allow you to generate enough. Between the Archon, I have points into Insight that's also just passive mod power generation. So between those, like, it's kind of more than enough to do it. And I went ahead and, as you saw in that boss fight, I threw on Nebula because I've been using time-lapse to just freeze a bunch of dudes in place so I can laser them. Not really much help on a boss fight, so that's why I put Nebula on. But depending on the amulet you want to run too, like look how quickly that dude got absolutely shredded, and he's gone. Depending on the amulet you want to run, you can do some things that'll really help with some mod generation. So like reaction chain, if you sit there and you shoot the laser a whole bunch, it's going to charge up your other mod. And then at that point, you know, your laser is low on mod power and needs to charge up. You just quick activate the other one, and guess what? Your laser is back to having full charges again. I have chosen to go with the Golden Ribbon, which is kind of nice because it gives me mod damage And then using a mod gives us haste, which we're constantly cranking out mods. So we're just constantly having haste put onto us. And so that has been kind of fun because haste is just satisfying to use as well. And I don't feel like I particularly need the extra mod power generation from the reaction chain to switch between it. Because like I said earlier, like I've got a lot of other things going on that just kind of automatically like build it up. And with failsafe makes it so that like you have a chance not to consume a charge of it, so it ends up like not really eating too many of its own charges. And look how well we're stacking through that damage. It's because we've got the encrypted ring on. We've got a bunch of extra damage reduction between stone skin, reality rune, and the confidence booster. And then with the encrypted ring, it builds up health regeneration as we use on mods. Well, the mod using the Prismatic Driver, we're just blasting out on mod use non-stop every second. So using it with something like Spirit Healer as well is actually pretty solid to do. So you could do something with Spirit Healer if you just wanted to spam like healing effects as well, which I'm not doing here because I'm playing by myself. I'm not interested in that kind of support right now. But look how much damage it's doing to this stupid boss, the freaking Legion. He's a cool boss, but he can be really annoying to fight. So being able to just sit there and laser him down really easily is really satisfying. It's really nice. Like it's just solid numbers that almost, I don't want to say ignore armor, but like it does good. It does good. Ow, that hurt really bad. Let's use the crystal heart. Maybe that'll keep us alive, because I'm taking a lot of damage here. I've let the madness stack up way too high, so I have to play really carefully for a second. Okay, now maybe Nebula will keep me alive, or get rid of the ads. Okay, now we'll go back over here, activate that again, drop, and with Reality Rune, because it generates mod power per second, that just keeps it completely topped off. You could also go Chaos Gate too for more damage, but you know, you'll take more damage as well, so depending on how comfortable you are with the situation and what you're fighting, you can swap it around for whatever you need it to be. Let's run into the last one and fight the last boss. And that's pretty much it. Prismatic Driver, dude. Really good now. Really fun. It's just... I mean, Nebula is really good too. You know, you can't go wrong with Nebula. Oh no, he's so far away. Oh, that's right. The laser can shoot really far away. The range on this thing is no joke either. Like, I mean, you probably saw it in fighting Legion. The thing has some range. Like running around with into Narud people and going through like the big open spaces. I'm hitting flying guys from like across the map basically. God dang, dude, that damage too. Like, and I didn't even like put a whole lot of thought into the setup. Like I just kind of put some things on that I more or less already had on, and it's just going to town, dude. It's brutal. I'm gonna try and see if I can't just like blast down the corruptor dude from here and just burn him like that without even fighting the old Mini-Face. Mini-Face is kind of in the way though. Oh, I'm actually too far away. That's a problem. Yeah, I messed up a little bit. I'll be okay. Yep, we're okay. I didn't realize how far away it was. That's my own fault. Drop this. That'll get rid of the arms. Oh, really? Oh my god. Uh-oh. Keep running though. Yeah, when you do that, if you roll into the place where the corruptor's at, you gotta go right away because he will just immediately start lasering. There we go. I don't need you to do that for me, bud. I need you to stop that part. Alright, right now, I'm really messing up the timing to be able to, like, actually do any damage to this thing. Oop. Okay, now we're okay. Now we'll do some damage. Boom. Yeah, I could hear you. Oh god. Oh god. I might be in trouble here. Nope, I'm okay. Dude, I'm messing up all the rules on this thing. Let's break some arms. We'll force him to kind of recall them. He can't even do the whole, you know, attacks on us. Yeah, there we go. Now we're solid. And now we win. I don't think there's anything he can do now. We've got him set up the way we want it. Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's like really good. Too good. It's too good. If they come out and they nerf it, like, I would not. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And I didn't take a single buff. Like, what? What? 24,000. And the XP changes too with prisms and the boss rush stuff is good. It's so good. Update's very nice. I've tried a few other things, dude. Night Guard, fantastic. Voltaic Rondor, fantastic. The Bulldog, fantastic. Changes on the, what's it called? Crossbow, feel nice. Like, all the buffs that they gave feel good. They feel good. Here's the loadout. Archon as a primary archetype. I did Alchemist as a secondary. We want Archon because it's Archon. It does mod stuff. I ended up choosing the Alchemist as my secondary because I was going for the defensive. What's it called? Summoner is going to do more damage for you, right? It was mod damage, explosive damage. That's exactly what we're doing, right? But I wanted to go defense with like the Stone Mist, and in addition to that, I'm using the feeding tube, so helping some more with like the long-lasting consumables was pretty helpful for us, right? So that's what I was thinking there. We've got the golden ribbon on. Mod damage is increased by 25%, and we have haste. We're constantly going to have haste now. But I was using the reaction chain, so I would basically burn out all the mod use on my failsafe, and then switch over, use this one, which would fully charge this up, and then just go right back into it. And that's all I was doing, right? But really, again, because I was able to use this or golden ribbon or whatever, like, you can kind of do whatever. In addition, you could even go index of the scribe, because that gives you better mod and skill weak spot damage by 35%. So this can actually hit the weak spots, so you can get a lot of bonus damage out of there if you can get the weak spots. So something to consider. I went in with the Burden of the Follower. This is doing reduced fire rate, but mod power generation by 30%. Don't care about the fire rate. We're not shooting, so it's just more mod power generation. Shard Banded Ring, 12% more mod damage. But honestly, just go Burden of the Destroyer. It's just 15% more across the board. We don't care about the fire range drop. I was just being lazy and showing that you can do not whatever you want, but kind of whatever you want, right? This is just generic slots that we're filling. Mod power generation, damage. Encrypted ring is for health. We're like, every time we use a mod, it generates health for us, right? For 10 seconds, stacks up to 30 seconds. Well, it's going to hit the full stacks already, 30 seconds of it, because it shoots off so many rapid stacks, like uses of mod, like charges. The last one I'm using is the feeding tube, because I was just trying to constantly upkeep the confidence booster on me to reduce stagger levels. So if you watch, we also have points into Resolute. This helps us with our hit reaction time, so when we do get staggered, we recover very quickly. But if you watch, when we use it close to a guy, knocks us completely down. But see how quick we end up getting up? That's thanks to the Resolute. Now, if we use our confidence booster, this should now... Nope, still knocking us flat on our bottom. Sometimes when I'm in like a boss fight, and I've got this and the Stone Mist on us, now we're just getting staggered a little bit. But look how quickly we recover. So we could theoretically keep going if we're getting staggered down. Now going into traits. Also, I would say that's not a super viable strategy. Feeding tube is interesting, very gimmicky. You're gonna eat through your consumables really fast, because it's every 30 seconds. And so depending on how long your boss fight is, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. So you may not want to do that. And I don't know that I would recommend taking the whole like stagger level reduction thing to deal with it. Just be careful. You can even carefully dodge it at times. See how we dodge it there? Like, you can dodge it. You can dodge it. It's just kind of tricky with the timing, especially when you're in the middle of a fight. But going into it, the traits and stuff: triage, fortify, kinship, because when guys are in your face, you're gonna accidentally clip yourself. It's gonna happen. And it does a lot of damage. So you're gonna blow yourself up. You want kinship. And I don't know that I would even recommend taking amplitude, because to me it's not really about the AoE. Like, it helps, it can clear out some dudes, but when you add in the extra extended AoE, you're gonna knock yourself down way more often. It's completely disruptive to the entire playstyle. Now, it can work if the enemies are far away from you, but as soon as they're up close to you, amplitude is going to be causing just a huge amount of pain. Vigor is maxed out, Spirit's maxed out, Siphon is maxed out, Resolute is maxed out, Insight is maxed out. A couple points in endurance and recovery for my own personal quality of life experience. Prismatic Driver, I was doing it was failsafe, 25% more mod damage, and just a chance not to consume a charge. It's constantly consuming charges, so that's pretty nice. And then the handgun, I've just been swapping around. It really doesn't matter what you want to use, right? It's whatever you want to supplement you at that point. My fragments, it's mod stuff. I've got health bonus in there just for a little bit of extra survivability, and then more mod damage, more mod power generation. My prism, all mod stuff. So I have it maxed out for more mod damage, so we are getting a lot of extra mod power or mod damage. So, bear that in mind, I guess, depending on how your prism is set up. But it's good. Prismatic Driver, super good now. Give it a go. A lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Take care.